Holmes, the D-Chef Holmes crack cake. I did it their way, but this time I'm going to Burger King and I'm gonna have it my way. I always gotta tweak things and do it like I like. So I'm gonna let you see what I'm doing, and I'm telling you, this right here is the best. I did a couple test runs, other ways to try different things, but this here is number one. You get your box of original classic yellow cake mix, doesn't really matter what name brand. Get you a box of instant vanilla pudding mix. I got the one box of yellow cake mix and one box of jello pudding mix, and I put a quarter cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of white sugar. Get ready to throw that in right quick. Okay, now I've added 4 eggs, a quarter cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and I also have a quarter cup of white sugar. Okay, now I just added 3/4 a cup of oil and 3/4 a cup of milk. But now is when the D-Chef Holmes change get ready to come in, my special tweak that turns this in from a crack cake to the crackhead cake. Okay, it's like I said, this is where my big tweak comes in. At this point, everybody adds a half a cup of white wine to the dough batter mix. But I don't like white wine, so guess what? Oh boy, Mr. Jim came to the show. I put a half a cup of Jim Beam in there, extra black dry age. That replaces the white wine. And no one adds nuts to their cake. So, but I do, because like I said, this is my tweak. I add walnuts, pecans, probably 3/4 a cup. And I just throw a good amount in there, and a little dash of coconut flakes. Those three complement each other in any cake I've ever made. You cannot believe it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. I'm about to do something that I never do. I got all the ingredients added in. Like I said, a dash of coconut, dash of walnuts, dash of pecans, and a dash of old Jim. But I always make homemade cakes myself 100%. So I always stir my cakes. I never use a mixer or a blender because I know exactly how many times to stir it. Looking at the texture of it, I know exactly what I want. But since this is a box cake and this is just a through together with me just tweaking an idea, look at what I found. This is probably traces from her Easy Bake Oven days, a little dinosaur. I'm gonna mix this up and then I'll show you what to do with the pans and everything. I get my bundt pan out and I use some baking spray. And remember, if you use this, use Baker's, because the difference is the pan, the stuff that you use, the non-stick stuff that's for frying, it's completely different. The biggest difference with this one is it has not baking powder, it has flour in it, so that helps your stuff don't stick. But if you don't have any of this, you can do it old school way, which is what I also do with my homemade cakes. Just rub your little bit of butter around in the pan, throw your little bit of flour in there, and you just shake the flour around and like that, cover the bottom. So when you get ready to take your cakes, your layers, or whether it's a whole cake, take it out of the pan, it won't stick. Makes it a lot easier, it don't tear your cake up, especially when you have a perfectly beautiful cake and then you tear it all to pieces trying to get it out of the pan, because all the stuff I do is very moist and soft, so it will break up easy. But this here is, like I said, just a tweak on another. Take the cake in the oven, which I've preheated at 350 degrees, and let it go for exactly 1 hour. And that's simple as that. Now I make the icing. Now it comes up to the frosting. I can go ahead and make it while I'm waiting on the cake, because what happens is actually not anything that you spread on the cake. You actually pour the entire thing through the cake. That's 1 full stick of butter, and don't worry about your health, because remember, we didn't add a lot of butter or sugar into this mix, even though it's sweet, but you didn't add any butter when you was making the batter, so don't worry about it. And you got 1 cup of white sugar, and substituted, tweaking the tweak my way. I did it with the 1 cup of Jim Beam. the 1/4 cup. A quarter cup. I'm not gonna get anybody drunk. See it right there. It's my son's 8th-year-old birthday, so I don't want to use white wine when he's a boy, 8 years old. I want to put something that's gonna put some hair on his chest. Nah, I'm just joking about that. Tracy's going to pick his birthday cake up now. Some of the dinosaur cake, he loved that little stuff right now, but I'm making this for all the adults that's coming over. They want to taste one of my specialties, and so I did a couple of these last week for the first time. I played with it a little bit to put my own special tweak to it, and so now I'm doing it. Everybody that have had it have loved it. And like I said, this is not my recipe. It's something I saw on YouTube. But like I tell everybody, everything, even the stuff that you see me cook, try it my way first, and then tweak it your way with what you like. Whether you have to take away some stuff or add some stuff, do it the way you like. Now all I do with this is I put it on the stove top, put the cap on it, and I pretty much just have it on like simmer, and it melts. I got 50 minutes left before the cake is ready, but I'll let the butter melt naturally. You don't want to burn it, you don't want to scorch it, and then I turn the heat to it so it goes ahead and dissolve all of the sugar, and it'll be clear. And what you want to do is you want to take this out. When this becomes dissolved and becomes warm, you want to pour the cake out, and while the cake is still hot, it's the opposite when you put frosting on a cake, because you want it to cool down so the icing that you put it on it won't melt and run off. But this is different. As soon as you pour the cake out and it's hot, this here will still be hot, and you pour it all over the cake, and it will absorb all of it into the cake. And that's what, if you wait till it cool down, it won't absorb it, it'll flake up on it. Like I said, I learned that on the first one I did. I didn't let the cake get cold, but I let it cool down some so the icing flaked up on it like a glaze on a donut. But when I did it the second time, I did it while both was hot, and it sucks all of it on the inside, makes the cakes nice and moist, and it's very good that way. 1 hour is up, and you got beep, beep. That's the end of that. Look at that baby in there. You want to do this as soon as you take the cake out while it's real hot, and the frosting will soak into the cake. So you're going to pour the entire thing over the cake. I'll show you, but I'm going to have to let it go so I won't spill it. Just pour this whole thing over the cake like this here. Cover the whole top, and do it while it's hot so to soak it up. I'm going to get this down for us. See, I poured all the frosting over the hot cake. See, it's completely empty. And now I'll put a cover over it so it'll give it a few minutes to help it hold the heat, and it'll help it suck the rest of that frosting in. Like that real quick while it's still in the pan, because that helps hold the heat to it, and the moisture helps melt that frosting and suck it on inside of it. Okay, so this time I did a little rush job again on my frosting. So I turned it up high to go ahead and melt it. When I did that, it kind of makes it like this glaze I was saying. It soaks a lot in, but it still made like a glaze. But when I did it the other day, I did it slow. I just left the cap on medium, not medium, I mean on warm the entire time. So it slowly melted it, and the entire thing, all the frosting was like oil from the butter and the sugar. So it absorbed it, all of it in, and it was just like shiny looking on the outside. Just like you put some Armor All tire shine on a tire, and it soaked it all in. This here is still fine, but you see what I'm saying, how it made like a glaze on the outside of it. I'm getting ready to dump the cake, and I'm going to show you another little twist that I put on mine. Never cooked a bundt cake before? Any kind of cake really. I always do this here. Take your butter knife or something. I always go around, even though I sprayed that stuff, I always go around the edges everywhere it sticks to the pan. It have touched the pan, it made contact. Even though on the sides I could see that spray really worked, because it had a little gap. Once the cake was done, it actually poured away from the sides. But I always do this just to be safe than sorry. Then you take a flat plate and put it on the bottom. But I'm not going to use a plate. I'm just going to use the bottom of the cake bake. It's clean and washed up, so I'm just going to put it on the bottom up against there like that. Try to put it in the middle, hold it and flip it real fast and it'll drop out. I want it to be in the middle, and this is what you want, what you hope for. See how that came out perfect? It didn't break all my cake up. None of the cake was stuck in the bottom of the pan. Sometimes you can have hunks out. And everything's good. And this is the final twist that I'm doing. Cream cheese. I'm even using this out of the can because it's fast. And you don't spread it on it while it's hot, but I'm doing it because I want it to spread out and melt into it too. There you go, the finished product. That sucker is good too. I didn't have a lot of icing. And like I said, I put it on there with it hot so that it melts into it. And it is good. If I waited for it to cool down and spread the icing on top of it, it would be nice and smooth and even, and you wouldn't see like none of this brown, but it doesn't matter. That sucker is good. Try it.